we all have, I'm going to call it tech support. So if any of you've seen one of those movies, a little bit like Ocean's 11, where they're going into a casino and they plan to, steal some crown or jewels or something, and there's this tech guy who's really clever, and what he's able to do is to bring up on his computer a grid of the casino, and every room they move into, he can shut down the security cameras so that they can sneak through and they can get where they want to go and achieve what they want to achieve. So there's this invisible tech support that they've got going on, and they couldn't actually achieve their goal without that support, even though it's not a very moral goal that they have. So I want to share with you two stories that have occurred in my life or that I've heard in the last couple of weeks. And the first one is a really simple one that you'll all relate to. So I was getting ready to take my car to be serviced, and Anna's called out from her room and saying, Mum, I slept through my alarm and I've got to be at uni at 8 o'clock and it's compulsory. And she was really stressed because to her it was terrible. She slept through 3 alarms and there was a chance she was going to miss this 8 o'clock thing that she had to be at. So I got dressed, got in the car, ready to drive her into the city. But when we got to the first main road, we saw that the traffic was bumper to bumper, and if I drove her to the city, there was a really good chance that we were going to run late. So she has checked her phone, and for the first time ever since she's been catching the train into the city, the train was going to be 10 minutes late. So I turned right instead of left, got her to the train within a minute for her to be able to get on the train and get to her lecture on time. Now, that's a little bit like the tech guy who's got the grid and is able to change the security cameras. We had a tech guy who was changing the schedule of the train so that my daughter could get to uni on time. And then another story is one that my husband shared with me. So a friend of his, read an article about the fact that it can be dangerous to take too many vitamins. Now, he takes a lot of vitamins, and so he read this article which made him decide to go and have a blood test to see whether he had too much vitamin B or whatever it is that he was taking. And when the results came back, it showed that his PSA levels were so high that if they hadn't detected them in that time, he would have died of prostate cancer within about 3 months of the time that he had that blood test done. Now, the interesting thing about it is that he'd only had these tests done for his prostate 4 months before that, and the PSA levels could never get that high normally for most people. So it's okay for everybody else to have them annually like he was doing, but because he had an aneurysm years ago, this is why he uniquely was able to have this increase so quickly in PSA levels. So there is no way a doctor or him or anybody else would have got him there to have that test to identify these PSA levels. But the tech guy got him to read that article so that he could actually show up for that blood test. So the reason I share these stories with you is because we experience things like this in our life all the time. But what happens when you increase your consciousness is that you become aware of what's really going on. And rather than just really ignoring it and thinking that it's just a coincidence, you really start to notice that this is what's going on, that life has your back, life is supporting you so that things turn out well and the way that they should be. And the reason it's important to be aware that you have this support is so that you stay true to your course, so that you continue to follow your dreams. Because if you think that you're trying to do it on your own, then you're going to only be relying on your own capacity and your own ability. But there's so much more support than just what you've got and what you can bring to the table. I couldn't have manipulated the train timetable, and this guy couldn't have worked out a way himself to be able to save his life. So there is this bigger support that we have. And when you become aware of that, then it increases your belief so that you stay true to the course. Because sometimes it can look like it's going wrong from our point of view. It looks like from our perspective it's not working out the way we wanted it to, but chances are it is. So it's either giving you a lesson to change direction, or it's actually completely on track and you need to just keep going.